Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 10 in the series Carlsen-Caruana Countdown. Only 78 days left till the World Championship match, which will take place in London. And as one of my favorite sports commentators says, the sense of anticipation is almost unbearable. 2.5 months more to wait. Carlsen-Caruana will be the 47th event for the official and undisputed World Championship. And in this series we continue looking at all the 46 previous events. We have arrived at Lasker against Janowski, and you can see it was played in the same year as Lasker against Schlechter, which was a previous video where Lasker barely kept his world title. Later that year, in November and December 1910, he defended his title against Janowski. Here's a picture of both players. This is from 1909 when they played an exhibition match. Janowski on the left, Lasker on the right. Janowski was born in Poland and lived in France later in life. He played in most of the elite tournaments in those years and was described as extremely ingenious, sometimes shifty and resourceful. In 1909, where the picture is from, Janowski drew a 4-games exhibition match against Lasker, 2 wins each. But later that year, Lasker won another exhibition match 8-2. Janowski said he wanted to demonstrate to the world that Lasker's game was not chess but dominoes. A funny quote, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. The match took place in Berlin in November-December 1910. The first to win 8 games would win the match. And Lasker characterized Janowski in the following way. Independently he searches for the beautiful, ingenious, deep and hidden. Sadly, he goes too far therein. He pays not the slightest attention to ordinariness. In fact, this gives his play a special appeal. At the same time, it is also his weak spot. Interesting analysis from the world champion about his challenger. There was limited attention from the public, since most people thought Janowski had little chance of winning. And it was the second title match in 1910. 2 matches in 1 year. There also was limited press coverage because Lasker had secured the copyright for the games, so they could not be printed without charge. Imagine that happening nowadays. I would not be able to make videos on the Carlsen-Caruana match. That would be a disaster. It was a very one-sided affair. It only lasted 11 games for Lasker to win 8 of them, with no losses. Janowski only managed 3 draws. It was a bit of a slugfest. In this video, we'll look at the first game. Let's see what happened. It was played on the 8th of November 1910. White is Lasker, black is Janowski. The world champion opened with d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, and Janowski plays the Tarrasch defense. Knight f3 was Lasker's choice. I'll just give you the main moves, the main tabia from this opening, which is c takes d5 instead, e takes, knight f3, knight c6, then white fianchettos his king's bishop, bishop e7, both sides castle, bishop g5, then black takes in the center, kicking the bishop and bishop back to e3. That is the main line for this opening nowadays. Knight f3 was played by Lasker, and they go into another slightly different variation. Knight f6, Lasker took now on d5, played bishop g5, and bishop e6 was Janowski's answer. e3, knight developed, bishop developed, and black's bishop as well. And here Lasker took on c5. Bishop takes, both players castled, and rook c1. Bishop back to e7, knight d4, and rook c8. And all these moves are still played by contemporary grandmasters over 100 years later. So this theory has stood the test of time. Queen d2 is a rare move from Lasker. Knight e4 hitting the queen, and you can take on e7. That is playable, but Lasker decided to take that knight. Now you can also take the bishop. Knight takes, queen takes. It's playable, but d takes e4, taking a knight back, was Janowski's choice. Now Lasker took on e7, queen takes, and knight takes e6 to ruin black's pawn structure on the queen side. If you take with the rook, then white will take, and indeed, this pawn structure has been shattered. But Janowski took back with the pawn straight away, without swapping the rooks. Queen a5. Tickling move, Grandmaster Saran would say, putting pressure on black's queen side. Rook fd8, rook fd1. White is a bit better because of his better pawn structure, but it's not much. Bishop d5, that's a very good bishop. b4, expanding on the queen side, and everything seems okay. Here, bishop e6 is a sensible move, so that in case white plays b5, he can just take that piece without your bishop being in trouble there. But blunder alert, after the move b4, on the 19th move, Janowski made a huge blunder. For a World Championship match, this is quite incredible. Rook d6 is a big mistake. Can you see the refutation? If you can, you play stronger than the World Championship challenger in 1910. Lasker found it. He took the bishop. And it's all to do with this pawn being pinned. Janowski had no choice, took the rook, but that rook went because of the pin. If you now take the queen, then there is rook takes c8 check, and queen f8 is the only move. Rook takes, king takes, and if we count the pieces, white is a piece up. Poor Janowski. After queen takes d5, Janowski took on b4 instead. Lasker had no mercy, took on c6, and here Janowski resigned. He must have been shattered. Queen e1 check is no problem. The bishop just interposes, and white is a piece up and is easily winning. That was a quick win in 22 moves, and as mentioned, things got even worse for Janowski. He lost the match 8-0 in only 11 games. Lasker was to remain world champion for 11 more years, but then he lost the match to the great José Raúl Capablanca, and that's what the next video is about. If you haven't seen the other videos in this series yet, the build up to the Carlsen-Caruana match, the playlist is in the description box. If you like this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up and that you will subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel. Please leave a comment what you think of this series. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. It would be great if you liked the video that you could share this video with your chess friends and or on social media. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.